Hola, amigos. Welcome back
Oh,
to the
hello.
show. I got my good friend Jin Chao here.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. And we got a really good show today, Jin Chao.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. But before we get started, remember we're sponsored by Tequila AI. Let's see if
Mm-hmm.
we get it the first time. Go, yeah, Jin Chao, you got it. All right.
I got it. I got it.
You got it. You got it. So,
Practice
if you
so
need
many times.
any AI, talk to Tequila.
Yeah.
So, I'm currently writing a letter to my bank asking if they accept cloud API credits as legal tender. What do you think, Shinchao?
I think it's good. You should try use the ChatGPT as well. Uh, they're good. They're good. The legal tenders because they're quite expensive. Don't try the DeepSeek. They're too cheap now.
They're very cheap. Well, I mean, if you look at this, I mean, everyone's talking about an AI winter, like all these job layoffs and all these
Yeah.
things. And now you got people like, Sam Alton and
Mm,
um, Dario. I can't pronounce his name. I always forget his name. The CEO of Anthropic. That now they're stepping back their statements about that. But apparently now Anthropic is $1 trillion company.
yeah. It's really it feels like it's going good for Anthropic, especially last week or recently. They are the only company currently making money now. They're making profit at the moment. So
They've gone into profitability. But
yeah,
would you say DeepSeek's gone into profitability because they didn't have as high of a startup, right? I mean, as compared to others.
yeah. DeepSeek is kind of national treasure
Oh,
for, for China at the moment. So they are symbols of Chinese kind of AI at the moment. But yeah, that's what we say in the beginning, right? I said their version 4 Pro supposed to be um, like they were doing promotions to end of this month, which 2 days ago, 3 days ago, they slashed it. They said, okay, a quarter of the price for life, So
for life.
yeah, for
Wow.
I don't know how long the life is, but
Was it
it's
your life or their life? I don't know.
it's staying though. It's staying. So a 1 million token output input is definitely under a euro. I forgot how much is that, but it's
80
30.
cents is what I heard. That's
Yeah,
that's that's a very small amount.
yeah, that's a pro version. And compared to Claude and ChatGPT, totally different price point. Totally different price point. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to hear from the audience there if they want to put in like who they use, who's your favorite
Yeah.
AI that you're using. I mean, we've talked already, Anthropic or Claude. We've talked ChatGPT.
Hmm.
We've talked about DeepSeek. Maybe some of you guys out like using Grok. I don't know.
Hmm.
Please put it into the chat there, and we can talk a little bit about that. But
Yeah.
Anthropic, they raised completely madness. They raised $30 billion round, and now they're valued over 900 billion. So imagine you invested 30, and now it's worth 900. So they just leap past OpenAI's valuation.
Yeah, but they're not IPO yet, right? So you
No,
can't.
no, but they are definitely preparing for it. Yeah.
So we couldn't even get the API legal tender, I would say.
Well, I mean, they tripled in 3 months. But here's the kicker: it isn't just venture capitalist hype. They actually, like you said, they posted a profit.
Yeah.
They're projecting an $11 billion profit
Hmm.
revenue for Q2, and I mean, we've got what, a month left. Um,
Yeah. And
and
then,
it's this is they're really looking at like frontier labs just burning money in data centers, and they were doing all of this stuff without making a single cent
yeah.
first, but now they are.
And that got me thinking as well. Like I was thinking, because there's a huge amount of money went into AI, right? Infrastructure, a card, and like data center, everything, models, training that models, everything. And I was just thinking about because money comes around, goes around, and
Yeah.
we see a lot of things, and later on, is the consumers actually paying for it.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, does AI, when does really a consumer paying for it? Because it's huge money went into it, right? And who's paying for that later
Billions.
on?
I think almost $1 trillion has gone into AI.
Hmm. If you kind of to me, I feel like later on it's gonna be a rich man's game. Normal people won't be able to pay for the AI. Imagine if you're going to Elon Musk's what do you call it, those taxis, right? Go in there, instead of paying the money, you're paying for 50 token, you get to A to B, and 100 token from A to C.
That's quite cheap there, Jin Chao. It'd probably be like 10 million tokens.
Just an example, right? And then
Yeah.
you got the token in their input, and basically saying the vision can only detect using from A to B using 2 million tokens. You have to pay that and go that much. You know what I mean? Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find it interesting. It kind of the time reminds me if there's gamers out there play Fallout, and there's Netflix, Amazon series about that. They use the code caps, right, as a money, because after nuclear war or something, and now we use tokens.
Now what's it called? A fallout, a nuclear fallout. Yeah. So now we're using well. I mean, you mentioned there about Teslas and driverless car, but they made a $45 billion hardware contract. I mean, Anthropic is paying them SpaceX AI $1.25 billion every single month, and this is why they're talking about they want the IPO. They want to get out there now.
Yeah. That's for their data center we talked about last week, called Colossus, isn't it? Colossus 1 data center.
Yeah, Colossus 1. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I didn't know they're paying that much.
Yeah.
I should get my mini what do you call it? My mini Mac Mini. Can I share 1%? I can support them.
I think we should be making money on building data centers in China. I think that's where the money's at. You go build your model. I'll have a data center for you. Put your model on here, and you pay me.
Yeah, it's not too late to actually train my manual work. Do some manual work now.
But did you see now? Apparently, the Vatican is looking at the soul of AI. Did you see who was standing next to the Pope?
No, I did not see that. Tell me more about it if you can.
Chris Olah from Anthropic. So imagine he's meeting with someone. Leo the 14th dropped his first AI. Basically, his Magnifica Humanitas, and basically called AI the new industrial revolution. Which, in fairness, I think we've been saying that for quite some time, right?
Yeah.
And it is a massive flex for Anthropic to be next to the Pope. You know what I mean? And it's going to be really interesting. And
is that like a digital human kind of thing, or what?
Well, I mean, there was that Google engineer. Remember, he said that it was alive. Do you remember that? Yeah. But I mean, now we're seeing that Anthropic is dominating. Now, I will say I've been using all of them. I've used Gemini. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. I'm using three main ones. I'm using Gemini, I'm using Codex, and I'm using Claude Code. And just the recent experience I had with them, I just had such a better, at least for coding issues. Gemini gave me a completely wrong answer. Claude waffled, and Codex gave me a somewhat reasonable answer. Somewhat.
Yeah, I think out there it's very two-sided between Codex and Claude. Recently for developers at the moment, at least those are two people are choosing either A or B. There's no C option at the moment. I think I see
keep going like this, right? I mean, like one goes up.
Argument, yes. I do see a lot of people are saying using Gemini. We talk about this as well. Using Gemini to do researches, right? To do deep research, because they have deep research. They have Google, the background supporting the data, and also you can use a notebook LM to learn a lot of stuff. Just post the URL inside and all that. And they use Claude to write, and because they think a lot of people are saying Claude is writing is a lot better. I haven't heard about ChatGPT about things. But
Well, I mean, Cloud Code, I mean, they were using a lot of, they were like the king of code for a while there. You use it as well.
Mm.
And then Codex just came out of nowhere, and it was like better code, less tokens, which was like, but it might be one of those things where they're just trying to get us on. First little
Mm.
fix is free, and then after that they charge you. So yeah,
Yeah.
that could be a real issue there. But I mean, I think that a lot of times there's a lot of pressure on Wall Street, or like not pressure, but on AI companies, particularly like the Anthropics and OpenAIs of the world, regarding like there's a lot of money that's gone in. Are they going to see that money come back in a return on investment? And so now that's happening with Anthropic, we're seeing it now.
And I think there's a different to evaluate the model if it's really good for you. I think it depends on if your country provide that kind of model. What I mean by that is I can use ChatGPT or Anthropic or Gemini to talk Chinese, and in that they're pretty good.
Do they do well?
Yeah, to save token, right? Chinese is one of those you can save about 30.
Well, I was going to say if Chinese is probably better than mine, but go on.
No. But what I'm getting into is if you use DeepSeek and all that, like a native Chinese model, you can sing slams or a little hint the model will get. But the global model of GPT and Claude, because it never trained on real like Chinese data, understand it, so it doesn't get that hint. What I'm thinking about, each country a different language, probably they need their own one to talk more like a human, getting us smarter. Because right now all we get is the English one. It's really good. That's the common one. And China as another country can do a different language. I would like to see a lot of those different models specifically for their language.
Would you think that's why their tokens are so cheap, Jinsha? Like, like we were talking about like 1 million tokens for, 80 cents.
Yeah, which I don't know how they did it. And I was watching the other YouTube, Jason Huang is talking about because Trump is open up to they can sell to China now for the old H200 card.
Yeah.
But China said no. China hasn't bought even one. Last year was Nvidia was selling them H200, kind of a lower end version of H200, and now they can sell them to H200. But H200 for our listener is not the latest one. The Blackwell.
It's previous generation, wasn't it? Previous generation, or is it 1 or 2 generations ago?
Yeah, 1 generation ago. The latest one is called Blackwell B200. That's what's in the Colossal one. From Elon Musk's place. So that's the latest, but there's not Nvidia can't sell to China, but China says no anyway to H200. I don't know where they get the power. I needed to go into the Douyin, like Chinese version of TikTok more to gather some information.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that gathering that information and then looking at like what you're saying there, like what Trump has done that now apparently. Trump has also scrapped the AI safety executive order at the last hour. So that order would have established a strict pre-release vetting process for advanced multi-agent systems. So basically, it says this report indicates that for last-minute phone calls with Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk convinced him that regulations would strangle America's competitive edge against international rivals.
But I think America already ahead of that. We know Europe; those things are very heavily on regulation, right? I don't see how Europe can catch up. And the really rivalry is China at the moment.
Well, I mean, a lot of companies, at least European companies, are trying to move away from U.S. companies and trying to develop at home. But I mean, you don't see the larger companies, AI companies, coming out of Europe. You just see out of the U.S. and China. So at least the two that I'm aware of. There could be more. If anyone knows, please share with us. I'm sure we could do some kind of deep research on it, but I mean, really, those are the ones that are making the headlines. I mean, like Kimi and MinMax, right? They're There are ones coming out of China along with
Yeah, there's
DeepSeek.
there's Kimi, Minimax, and a few other ones. DeepSeek. A lot of Chinese users don't even use DeepSeek. They use Kimi a lot. They use Minimax. A lot of people making videos, all that using like ByteDance and
ByteDance has, yeah.
their own video and generation is pretty big. Yeah.
Well, we talked about the three. Like, well, I mean, Google has in the U.S. They have Google, they have Anthropic, ChatGPT, you have Grok, but then you have like Meta has one as well. Is that what is Meta's called?
Meta Llama.
Llama.
Yeah,
Llama, and then is there any other models out there or that are large that would be used?
Oh, yeah, there's one. It's multi expert one, way back 2024 now, I think.
Wow, you're going way back.
Mistral. Yeah, Mistral.
Yep.
Yeah, forgot about it.
That was a French one, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's
what happened to them?
I don't know. Just imagine, right? In the future, we have a currency now. In the future, there's a forced exchange of different API tokens.
Well, I mean, there's a poly market. You might have that, Jin Chao. Some crypto. Get on there and have some kind of cryptocurrency and be able to create those.
People buying API tokens at like off-peak time and sell them at the peak time or something. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the peak times and off-peak times are different, different time zones. So you could, where it's off-peak in the U.S. would be peak in China or something like this, depending on where in the world. I'm just giving an example. And, it's like, well, on the other end of the world. I think about that because I remember when I was a kid, Jin Chao, I would be digging a hole in the back garden plane, and they told me if I dug it too deep, I would come out in China. Can you believe that?
You really have to dig. You probably have a bigger right arm than a left.
I was very close, Jin Chao.
I think had this problem when you mentioned off peak and peak time. I think we talked about this before. DeepSeek engineers kind of complaining they don't have time to maintain their servers because when the off peak is peak in Europe and people are using it because the cheap token, and then move on. And then a couple hours later, going to US again and move to China again. So their off peak is always peaking.
Well, remember there was peak hours where they were charging, dynamic pricing was being used with Claude, which a lot of people, including me, were pretty pissed off about because there was really no notice. It was just one day you're using it and then like, what happened to all my tokens? Like all of a sudden you were hitting usage limits and going like, but hold on, I've never hit a usage limit before. Why am I hitting a usage limit now? And so there was some issues there.
Yeah, for a lot of people, like when you're using Claude code or something like that, or any code kind of system IDE / context, right? Really have a look what's being sent every single time, and every request probably. If you're good and if you cleaned really good, you're probably talking about 10 or 20% of token is already used every call, right? / context, check it out. So
well, I mean, it is a big deal. I mean, and you can see, and it's funny when you're using like in Claude, you see they go like how much you have left, so the bar is going down this way, where it goes the other way. It goes this way. And then OpenAI goes the opposite direction. So it kind of confused me at first when I was looking at it. I was like, oh, how did I use so much? It's like, oh, no, that's how much I have left, not how much I've used. So they do it different ways. But I mean, there was a big, the I/O conference last week from Google. There was some big releases there as well, like Google Spark that's coming out. That's supposed to be. Now, they're saying it's only going to be for ultra users. I don't know. I mean.
Oh, Jesus, that's $200 or $1,000 one. That's really high one.
So so basically what it's going to do is it's going to have agents running 24/7 on their servers. So it doesn't make a difference if your computer's open or you're on your phone. Agents will be doing things for you. So you don't need to set up, your own mini, Mac Mini like you have or anything like that, it's on their service, and obviously you're going to pay for extra for it.
It's what do you call it? It's a Google Cloud.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be the Google Cloud, platform that you're going to be using GCP. So yeah, so that's
But
an interesting one. Yeah.
yeah, I think more and more people are trying to run the local, try to run that on their local environment now, and then a lot of those open weight Chinese model, like a 3 billion parameters, 7 billion parameters. If you have the right equipment, you can run it, and then they're more and more capable every day. Especially some of those models, is it Kimi or DeepSeek, or I forgot which one it is using like the multi-expert, so it doesn't load the whole bunch of 7 billion in one go. So they only
I think
use
that's Kimmy.
Yeah, I was reading a Medium post one day. There's one guy who was running a very big parameters, kind of open weight on the 16 gig Mac Mini. I was going to try that to see what's the story with that. It's interesting.
It is interesting, Zhenshao. I mean, what's gonna be happening. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I think we've talked about this before, like AI fatigue, where so much is coming out, and then you can start and say, so this, talking about like this Google here, right? With Google Spark, so it's going to be a personal assistant for you. So you go, oh, I have my personal assistant over here. But you can, and we've had this conversation before, where you can spend time developing something, working through it, and then someone just comes out and does it. Or you have a week where it's just like bam, 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 bam. 5 different companies have released 5 different new models, and you're just your head spinning. You're trying to figure out, what do I use here? It's just moving so fast. I mean, how are you feeling about that, Zhenshao? Are you able to keep up with that? What are you thinking?
No, the short answer is no. I'm trying to be an expert of those coding tools, but I still do think like there's a lot to do when you are IT profession. You're doing a lot of stuff. There's a lot to be done, a lot of automation to be done. But I ran OpenClaw as well, and I don't think I have that much to do on that, to be honest. For all the people out there, like everyday people, there's a task, and you don't need that to do. Like, okay, ring the bank or something. Would you be able to? Like, not many people know how to configure OpenClaw to do that, or anything to do that.
It requires a lot. Yeah, it does require a lot of coding and stuff. I mean, I think it was a year and a half ago we were talking to things like N8N, and then there's Make.com, and that kind of stuff's kind of gone away now. Where you go, oh, I don't need any of that now.
Yeah.
I can just, because for those that don't, as you're saying, that don't do coding, you're not a coder, not a developer, and you're like, oh, I want to build this, that I can do this for me. I don't, this is a little difficult. So yeah, it is definitely exhausting. I'm with you, Zhenshao. I mean, even with us doing the AI Amigo show and us talking about latest news and things coming out, it's hard to keep up, man. It's just there's too much to keep up with.
100%. It seems like the AI is really like you can do a lot of things, and then you feel like it's really easy. And once you go in fully in, it says, "Oh, I might wanted to create some agent help me to do something." Like a really daily life, there's not much out there to do for everyday people. If you're going to work and come back, just I think it helps a lot of IT professions. But that's the thing people were saying as well. Like, this is the machine that removes the white collar, right? So
yeah, well, I mean, they're talking about, even here in our government, we're talking about the Irish government in regards to how AI is affecting. I know Meta's already letting some people go, and displacement of jobs, and what is that all looking like? And so there's some concerns around that, and rightfully so. But I mean, at the end of the day, I still go back to, like, we still need to live, right? We still need to eat. We still need to buy stuff. So who's going to buy it if you have no job, right? Where's the money going to come from? So you got, we'll go from there. So
That links to our talk early on. The API tokens will be legal tender very soon.
I was about to say that, Jin Chao. If I use my tokens, maybe I can pay at the shop. I didn't use all my tokens this week. Can you give me some bread and some milk?
Store it somewhere.
Yeah.
Really.
All right. Well, we come to the end of our show. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Feel free to ask us any questions on the YouTube channel there. Please comment, and most importantly, subscribe to our show.
I think our audience, we find the statistic is very fun. Is 100% 35 to 45-year-old male. And 99.3% is not subscribed. We'll be appreciate if you subscribe. We're thinking about maybe creating some community. You can post their talk there. I think a lot can be done outside this, and people can share their information, can share their experiences, right?
Yeah.
So
a bit of a community, because I mean, at the end of the day, we learn from each other. Yesterday, I was talking to someone, and they brought up about how that Google has put little LLMs into Chrome browser, and it uses so much resources. And it's like, oh, so they're putting AI right into my computer locally. So when I'm clicking, browsing, blah blah blah, it's starting to do some recommendations. Interesting stuff. So so that community is always good to converse and learn from each other, and see what works, right?
Yeah, we call the community Only Fun.
Omnibon.
No, Only Fun.
Only Fun. Oh yeah. I like it, Jin Chao. I like it. So with that, guys, have a great week. Thank you, Jin Chao. Remember, Tequila AI, sponsored by Tequila. We'll see you guys next week with more interesting topics. See you now.
Bye now.